I want you all to listen very, very closely when I say this. Y'all are crazy. Let me tell you something. People out here are fucking crazy. And this is why when people really do get fucked up by police and it's not their fault, no one can believe them. This is exactly why. These are the reasons why. This is the one instance where I'm like, wow, I am so glad that we have these dash cams. Because if not, this whole entire story, which they're still trying to do, surprisingly, even with this evidence out, they could turn this whole entire story around, which they're trying to. To say, oh, she was this, she felt scared, blah, blah, whatever. It doesn't make any sense to pull out a knife and charge at... But you know what? I'm just going to let you guys witness this for yourselves. By the way, I'm really late on this news. It's like about a week old. But, B, you ain't got nothing else to do, right?
Start tonight with breaking news. Nevada County deputies have just released dashcam video from a shooting that happened.
There's no way this dude talks like that. But anyways.
On February 4th. It happened in the community of Alta Sierra. A 33-year-old woman was shot after deputies responded to the scene where she was holding a knife. Here's what we know so far. The Nevada County District Attorney's Office says neighbors called 911 reporting the woman acting strangely, walking with two children. Here's what happened when deputies arrived.
You're not in trouble or anything like that. I'm not going to touch your babies, but I need you to put your knife away. County 1 we're going to have one at gunpoint. She has a knife.
According to her family, 33-year-old Sage Crawford was with her 4- and 6-year-old children, knocking on doors in the neighborhood seeking help after an incident at the nearby hotel where they were staying made her feel unsafe.
So kill me now! I don't want to kill you.
Deputies released this still frame of the 33-year-old young mother as they repeatedly asked her to put down the knife.
So we're talking about a woman that has 2 kids, by the way. 2 small children with her when she does this. Which is even more like disheartening to see. And yet we're still trying to defend this woman. Now I could be wrong that maybe the cops did something, maybe harassed her prior to pulling up on her in the middle of the street. I don't know. But that seems to, I don't know. We haven't heard any details about that. The only details that we've gotten are these details right here. Before we got this video evidence, a woman clearly charging at the police with a knife. And they were nice about it. They pulled out a taser. It's not like she was black and they pulled out the big guns, the real guns. They tried to go easy on her. They pulled out the fucking tasers. It's crazy. Fucking crazy.
After one deputy fired his taser, officers say this image shows her charging the deputy, leading his partner to fire his gun. Now, this next portion of the video is very disturbing, but it shows just how quickly things can take a violent over what to show in these difficult incidents. But we wanted you to see what those deputies faced there on the scene.
Why didn't you shoot her in the arm?
Speaking for the family at a recent vigil, Sacramento activist Leah Shank of Impact demanded accountability.
None of us deserve to be shot and murdered in front of our children.
It is indeed a tragic case for everyone involved. They are still...
She was chasing the cops with a knife. They pulled out the taser. That's my only defense with this. Is that I could see if they just straight up tried to shoot her. Which again, even then... they kind of went light on her because there's some black people that they barely even pulled out a knife and got shot when charging the cops. You run at somebody who can kill you within a click of a button. Essentially, obviously not a button, but a trigger. But what I'm trying to say is they have easy access to kill you without even pulling a muscle. I don't understand. I don't understand how people can try and defend the woman in this situation. I don't see it. I really do not see it. That is the problem with this society. One side wants to argue something but has no evidence. The other side wants to argue something but has no evidence. And then when evidence is brought forth to both sides, the left and the right, then they still want to argue their point. I'm not saying in this case it's Democrat or Republican. First of all, we don't know. Second of all, it doesn't matter. It's the story's simple. The story is simple. This lady, I don't know what happened with the whole hotel thing that they were talking about, where she was fearful, left the hotel with her kids, and then the cops pull up, to try and figure something out. And they even said, "We're trying to help you." And like her first instance was to turn around with her small children and putting them in danger. Because that cop could have very easily, could have easily been a straight bullet if she would have ran the other way. If the other cop wasn't backing up with his taser the other way. This is crazy, man. I don't like doing stories like this because it does involve innocent children. But I had to cover this story. I had to put this up here because we need to see exactly what people are doing out here. The games that they're fucking playing. Which, at this point ain't even fucking games. It's just mental games they're playing. But they're out here playing with people's lives, man. I can't imagine being a cop nowadays. Because it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. And that's not a good way to live. That's not a good job to have. And I'm not saying every cop is faced with this every single day, but it can happen at any point in time. We've seen shit happen in the middle of nowhere in Oregon, middle of nowhere, Virginia. Well, actually, we haven't seen any case like that. Sort of, but not really. We've seen it happen, and now we see it happen in Nevada. We saw shit pop off in Washington State last year. North Dakota. And don't even get me started on Minnesota and Wisconsin. I mean, it's not just happening in New York and Florida and California and Texas. It's happening everywhere else as well. These people out here are getting bold as shit. And yet they want to look. I don't mind them doing a vigil, whatever the fuck they call it, or a memorial thingy, whatever thingy for her. Cool. But don't talk to the news and say like, oh, why didn't they shoot her? Like, fam, you're running at me with a knife. You think I'm gonna shoot you in the arm? And I don't know if you got any people out there in the woods trying to chase me down either. Seemed like it was like a wooded fucking neighborhood that they were walking in. Nevada seems like a pretty beautiful state. I want to travel there one day, but anyways, that's not. But at the end of the day, we got to know what's going on. And this is the shit that's going on. We got women out here that are not afraid to put their kids in danger when charging at police with knives. And yet they want to be they want to be deemed the good guy. Oh, I got another video for y'all coming as well about women and them just going off the deep end, man. I don't know whether it's the pandemic and y'all ain't been getting any dick, or whether it's been the whole transgender thing, and maybe they're pushing y'all out of sports now, out of your own sports, and y'all are frustrated because of that too. I don't fucking know, man, but at the end of the day, all I gotta say is we gotta look out for each other. We gotta do better, bro. Because I just finished talking to somebody last night here on Comrades, which you can find today that premieres at noon. By the way, shout out to the Jake. But our society just just goes off of like social media and being on the news and having this limelight for someone who's already dead, or someone who's already fucked it up for themselves because they've tried making something into what it's not. Trying to say, oh, police, because I feel bad for people that really are targeted because of the color of their skin, and or because obviously, yeah, the color of their skin. That's mostly. I'm not saying that's what most cases are or anything like that. I'm saying that's when someone is being targeted, it's usually because either one, they have a criminal background and the cops know them, or they're working with the feds, or it's usually probably because of color or something like that. Those would be the only three logical reasons why anyone would ever be targeted. Um, or unless you're dating a cop's daughter or something, I don't fucking know. But this kind of stuff is not happening as much as people say and act like it happens, where people are being targeted for race or whatever. Now we heard her yelling all out. Look, I don't know anything about that shit, so I'm not even gonna get into that. Maybe one day I'll have someone who's very knowledgeable in whatever that is. Because again, I don't even know what kind of language that, like, I want to say maybe Muslim, but I could be wrong, so I don't want to say the wrong thing. I only spit facts on here. I don't spit. I don't try to spit any any non-factual stuff or anything, stuff that I don't know about. But I mean, we heard her yelling some stuff. She starts charging at the cops. They pull out the tasers. They say, "Look, we're trying to help." She's still charging. She's charged at the old dude when he shoots a taser. That shit didn't even help. She was like a fucking. Was it? It could have been drugs, right? Maybe she was on drugs. Man, I tell you, man, like, these women. I don't want to ask and be like, oh, where's the father or anything like that, but these women are always acting like they're holier than thou, right? That no child should be without their mom, blah blah blah, whatever. But then when your mom's on drugs, you see those two kids, were they better off with their dad? Would they have been better off with their dad, wherever their dad is? Because this woman, she had to be strung out on drugs. That's literally my only, that's my only conclusion with this. It's drugs. That is my conclusion with this. That is my hypothesis. Is that this woman was clearly on drugs. Bath salts, maybe, I don't know. But for this to happen in the middle of nowhere in Nevada, they just keep drinking the Kool-Aid. And then now people are gonna justice for, what was her name? I don't know, whatever. But anyways, it don't even matter, guys. Look, we know exactly what this is. We see it for what it is. The writing's on the wall that stupid shit like this is just going to continue to happen, and they're going to try and shove it down our throats that, oh, so-and-so is innocent because they were being targeted, blah, 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 blah. I got out of bed for this. So make sure you guys hit that like and hit that subscribe. In the meantime, I'm me, this contemporary Comrades, and I, my friends, am OUT.